This isn't a video bashing Dr. Berg as a person, but honestly, he should just delete this water video from his channel. I mean, it is so riddled with misleading advice. I'm really blown away that he's left it up this long. I mean, it's been liked over 123,000 people. It's been viewed over 5 million times. And this information not only will slow down your ability to lose weight, it could literally be dangerous, and I would even argue life-threatening for the average person's overall health. Hey everybody, Coach Sean, the Rip Grandpa, and before I talk about the 30 plus peer-reviewed published research studies I have proving just how wrong Dr. Berg's water video is, I want to start out by saying that I have nothing against Dr. Berg. He's clearly helped thousands of people. Now, I may not agree with all things keto, but I do realize there's 1,000 ways to skin the cat. Now also, when I started posting YouTube videos way back in 2008, I remember filming videos that I now consider obsolete, like if you don't eat every 3 to 4 hours while you're awake, your metabolism will slow down, or you'll lose muscle from going catabolic. So I would be a hypocrite if I didn't call myself out on things like this. However, none of these videos that I filmed in the past would actually cause people harm. And Dr. Berg's advice in this particular video could definitely cause people a lot of harm. I mean, he filmed this way back in 2014. So I think he needs to do everybody a favor and just delete it. So the first thing that Dr. Berg says is that 60% of your body is not water, that it's not true. In fact, he specifically says not 1 millimeter of your body is pure water. Let's take a look.
Number one, 60% of the body is water. Is that true? No, it's not true. In fact, 0% of your body is water.
I'm honestly shocked that he said this and that he left it up on his YouTube channel. So I'm going to throw up a couple screenshots here. We'll just use the public domain and medical news. I could pull peer-reviewed published research from healthline.com, a very credible resource, with dozens of studies showing from the Journal of Biology and Chemistry, the brain and heart are composed of 73% water. The lungs are about 83% water. Skin contains 64% water. Muscles and kidneys are 75% water. And even bones are watery at 31%. And according to all the research, roughly 45 to 75% of your body is water, depending on your age and your gender. So this is 110% completely false. Okay, so it gets even better. Let's watch what he says next.
So when someone tells you, well, sometimes when you're hungry, you're really thirsty, they're just making stuff up.
Then a minute later, after he says this, he also mentions that water will not help curb hunger, that you only feel full until you have to use the bathroom. No, 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 Dr. Berg. Are you ready for this? I'm going to talk about a couple research studies right now. I'm going to pin about 30 studies below in the top of the comments, so you know that I'm not just cherry picking a couple studies. But drinking ice water before meals has been shown scientifically in peer-reviewed published research to increase satiety and boost your metabolic rate. In 2 different studies, drinking half a liter or 17 ounces of water was shown to increase metabolism by 24 to 30% for up to an hour and a half afterwards. Timing your water intake is even more important, because if you drink water about 30 minutes before meals, that is when it's the most effective, because it can make you feel fuller so you consume less calories. I mean, this is a natural phenomenon. Just think about it. In one study, dieters who drank half a liter of water before meals lost 44% more weight over a 12-week period. Ice water works best because then your body has to burn more calories to cool it down to your body temperature. Now, this isn't just about research. This is about real-world results as well. Personally, I use a ton of intermittent fasting about 4 or 5 times per week. And if I ever get hungry during the fasted window, all I do is guzzle 12 to 16 ounces of water and the hunger goes away. So for me, that is evidence right there that I really wasn't hungry. I was just thirsty and my body needed more water. All right, so it just keeps getting better.
There's never been one person that lost even an ounce of fat by drinking more water. It's a myth. You can't lose weight by drinking more water.
Yes, Dr. Berg, you can in fact lose more weight by drinking more water. I mean, I just talked about the research that showed participants who drank water 30 minutes before meals saw a 44% greater decline in weight loss over the 12 weeks than those who were not given the water before their meals. Now let's talk about another study. It was from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinological Metabolism. That's a mouthful. But it showed some impressive results. Now, it was only 14 healthy, normal weight subjects. But just listen, they drank 17 ounces of water, and then the researchers tested to see how adipose tissue is oxidized. In other words, to see how their body burned fat. The results? Well, drinking just 17 ounces of water increased the metabolism of the subjects by 30%. It occurred 10 minutes after drinking and lasted for a total of 40 minutes. Now, a lot of this had to do with the thermogenic effect. In other words, the body working to cool down this water. It was about 40% of the calorie expenditure came from actually warming the water to body temperature. In other words, drinking water, especially cold water, can boost your metabolic rate. Now, this proves once and for all, these research studies show that saying that water does not help you lose weight is a complete 100% lie. It might not be an intentional lie, but it is a lie because it reduces the amount of calories you eat and it speeds up your metabolism. Both of these things are ultimately going to lead to greater weight loss. Okay, next, finally, he does say something that makes a lot of sense, and that is that water does not flush out toxins. And since toxins are sequestered inside fatty tissue, adequate hydration does very little to remove those toxins. Now, if we can find a natural way to chelate these toxins and remove them out of your fatty tissue, yes, then the water will actually help flush them out. Now, lastly, he ends the video by saying that water does not help dry skin. Now, I'll admit, there's not a lot of published research on this one, but if you look at what the Mayo Clinic says, it's kind of logical in my opinion. I'll go ahead and insert the image on the screen here, but it says skin is made up of 3 layers: the outer layer, the epidermis, the underlying skin, the dermis, and the subcutaneous tissue. Now, if the outermost layer of the epidermis doesn't contain enough water, skin will lose elasticity and feel rough. Despite this connection, however, there is a lack of research showing that drinking extra water has any impact on skin hydration or appearance. Now, that's the research, but I also defer to my real world in the trenches practice and experience with hangovers on this one. You know, I don't get hammered very often, but when I do, I wake up the next morning and I look in the mirror and I can see the deep wrinkles in my eyes right here. And sure enough, if I make it a point to guzzle lots of water that following day, those fine lines that make me look really old, like the grandpa I am, are gone. Now, I see this even more frequently with my wife because she's 11 years older than me, and it's not even really when she drinks alcohol. It's simply because she's just so busy taking care of me. She's so busy catering to our kids and our grandkids, she doesn't take the time to stay adequately hydrated. But when she does, we both notice a huge difference in her face. Even the skin on her arms gets more soft and subtle when she stays adequately hydrated. So I'm gonna defer to my old real world experience with this, and then I'm gonna go back to, again, how I feel, because I know that I have more energy, I have more focus, I have less hunger, and I look leaner when I'm hydrated. And Dr. Berg ends this video with a double whammy by saying people who drink the most water are actually the most dehydrated, and that people who drink a lot of water can increase their risk for coma, heart attack, and enlarged liver. Now listen, I'm gonna go ahead and just put a study up on the screen right now. It basically talks about how drinking more water is just basically gonna help you live longer. I mean, this is a meta-analysis, so this isn't just one study. This is dozens of studies put together showing that total drinking water intake and risk of all cardiovascular mortality go down in people who are hydrated. The conclusion to this study says it. High consumption of total water is associated with a lower risk of CVD, which is cardiovascular disease, mortality, proving again that this video is riddled with misinformation. Okay, so let's end this video talking about what we didn't get to cover. And again, all the research studies for what I'm about ready to share are gonna be pinned at the top in the comments, so you know I'm not just cherry picking stuff. I put together a water report a couple years ago because we actually donate proceeds from the sales of our products and services to install water wells in third world countries. So I've become very passionate about clean water over the years. And so we put together this report, and my team put it together, and that's how I got all these research studies that I'm sharing with you. And we didn't have time to cover it, but water will also help you actually reduce your risk of cancer. The more water you give your body, the less it will hold on to. So if you're feeling bloated, water is gonna help you make you feel leaner. It's also been shown to reduce hangovers. Woo, woo, woo. Reduces joint pain, reduces constipation, reduces probability of recurring kidney stones, and can increase your exercise performance. Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that based on all the research I covered here, that Dr. Berg got this one wrong. I have a lot of respect for this man, but he really does need to remove this video. Now, before we go, please do me a favor and hit the thumbs up if you got something out of this. Again, this is not about bashing Dr. Berg. It's about making you understand the truth. And that's why I'm so passionate about the products and services that we provide. They're based on evidence-based, peer-reviewed, scientific research studies. So in the description, in the link below, you're gonna see a link to my over 40 hormone reset diet, and you're gonna see a link to my over 40 absolution. These are 12-minute body weight workouts that will help you get in the best shape of your life. They'll show you the exact movement patterns, the exact rest periods, the exact intensity levels that you need to use to burn fat faster in only 12 minutes per day. That's our biggest excuse why we don't exercise, right? Is time. And then you're gonna see a link to my over 40 hormone reset diet. If you're wondering if you're beyond 40 and things have become a lot harder and losing weight, it's because your hormones have changed. And I put together this diet. It shows you how to use the right food timing, the right food combinations, and the right portion control to keep your body in a fat burning environment to get something called hormonal entrainment. You see, research shows that if you focus solely on just optimizing hormones, you don't have to worry so much about being in a calorie deficit. That hormones actually can trump your calorie intake. Now, that doesn't mean you can eat whatever you want. And inside this guide, I'll show you exactly what to eat. Now, speaking of things like intermittent fasting, and I share more about that in my hormone reset diet, up in this corner, you're gonna see a video on how to experience serious weight loss with intermittent fasting. So I'll kind of give you a beginner, intermediate, and an advanced protocol that you can follow. It's gotten a lot of great feedback. Check it out. Thanks for watching, and God bless.